Imagine waking up tomorrow to find that the silver coins you've been stacking, the jewelry passed down through generations, even the silverware in your kitchen drawer could be seized by the government. Sound impossible? It's happened before. In 1933, Executive Order 6102 forced Americans to hand over their gold to the federal government under threat of massive fines and even prison time. Now, whispers are spreading across financial communities about a potential new law targeting silver. Is history about to repeat itself? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal could affect every ounce of precious metal you own. Let's rewind to April 5th, 1933. President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 6102, one of the most controversial financial mandates in American history. This order made it illegal for U.S. citizens to own gold coins, gold bullion, or gold certificates. Americans were forced to exchange their gold for paper currency at a fixed rate of $20.67 per ounce. If you refused, you faced a $10,000 fine, which in today's money equals roughly $220,000, or up to 10 years in federal prison, or both. The government's justification was simple. They claimed hoarding gold was stalling economic growth during the Great Depression. By confiscating gold, the government could expand the money supply and devalue the dollar to stimulate the economy. But here's the twist. Once the government had collected the gold, they revalued it to $35 per ounce, essentially stealing wealth from American citizens through forced sale and immediate devaluation. Now, you might be thinking that was gold, not silver, and that was nearly a century ago, but here's where things get unsettling. Silver was never confiscated in 1933, but it wasn't because the government didn't want to. They simply didn't need to at that time. However, just a few years later, in 1934, the Silver Purchase Act gave the government authority to nationalize silver, and they did seize some silver through various programs. The precedent was set. The government has the power, the legal framework, and the historical willingness to confiscate precious metals when they deem it necessary for economic policy. Fast forward to today. We're living in an era of unprecedented government spending, skyrocketing national debt that's now over $34 trillion, and growing concerns about the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency. Countries like China and Russia are buying gold and silver at record rates. Central banks worldwide are diversifying away from the dollar. Meanwhile, physical silver is becoming increasingly scarce. Industrial demand for silver in solar panels, electric vehicles, and electronics is exploding, while mining production struggles to keep pace. Silver inventories at major exchanges like COMEX have been declining. Some analysts warn we could see physical silver shortages within the next few years. This creates the perfect storm. A government desperate for assets to back its currency or control inflation, a population increasingly turning to precious metals as a hedge against economic uncertainty, and a metal that is not only a store of value but critically important for green energy and technology infrastructure. Some financial experts are now asking the uncomfortable question: could the government use emergency powers to control or confiscate silver just like they did with gold? Now, let me be crystal clear. As of right now, there is no active law or executive order targeting silver confiscation. But the warning signs are there if you know where to look. Several proposed regulations have attempted to increase reporting requirements for precious metals transactions. The IRS has expanded Form 8300 requirements, which means dealers must report certain cash transactions over $10,000. Some states have tried to impose sales taxes on precious metals purchases. And there's been ongoing discussion in Washington about closing what they call the precious metals tax loophole. Each of these moves, while not outright confiscation, creates a framework for tracking who owns what precious metals. Think about the mechanics of how a modern confiscation could work. Unlike 1933, today's government has sophisticated digital tracking systems. Every major dealer transaction is recorded. Online purchases leave digital footprints. Bank wires and credit card payments create paper trails. If the government decided to act, they wouldn't need to go door to door. They could simply mandate that dealers report all customer records, then send notices requiring citizens to sell or exchange their silver at government-determined prices. Noncompliance could be tracked through financial institutions, with penalties enforced through tax liens, asset freezes, or criminal charges. But here's what really concerns many investors. In times of true economic crisis, governments historically abandon normal legal restraints. During the Great Depression, the Supreme Court initially struck down several New Deal programs as unconstitutional, but under political pressure and FDR's court-packing threat, they eventually reversed course and upheld executive power expansions. Emergency economic powers can override property rights that seem secure in normal times. The Trading with the Enemy Act, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, and various executive order authorities give the president broad powers to regulate or prohibit transactions in times of national emergency. The definition of national emergency has become increasingly flexible over the decades. So what can you do? First, understand that diversification diversification isn't just about having different assets, but also about how you hold them. Physical possession matters. Silver you hold directly is different from silver in a bank vault or held by a third-party custodian. Second, privacy within legal limits becomes important. Small transactions under reporting thresholds, private sales between individuals, and inherited metals may leave smaller paper trails than large dealer purchases. Third, consider the legal landscape in your specific state. Some states have stronger property rights protections in precious metals, friendly laws than others. Fourth, stay informed about proposed legislation. Financial freedom isn't automatic. It requires vigilance. The bottom line is this: could the government confiscate your silver? Legally, they have precedent and potentially the authority under emergency powers. Practically, it would be extremely unpopular and difficult to enforce completely, but not impossible. The real question isn't whether they could, but whether circumstances might make them believe they should. And in a world of ballooning debt, currency instability, and resource scarcity, that question becomes more relevant every year. History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. The government that confiscated gold in 1933 believed it was acting in the national interest. The citizens who lost their wealth believed they were being robbed. Both were probably right from their perspectives. Don't let fear drive your decisions, but don't let complacency leave you vulnerable either. Knowledge is your best asset, and preparation